Welcome back to the program. So let's do something a little bit different. Let's have a little fun, a little levity, okay, with all the crazy things that have been going on. So I was reading this article, and it said what women do for microfeminism. And I'm like, what the hell is microfeminism? I had no idea what it was. So I asked my wife. She had no idea. So I start reading this article, and I go, honey, you're not going to believe this, okay? This is insane. This is why women today are basically insane on the left. So what microfeminism is basically women doing certain things to either denigrate men or, I don't know, attack men in some weird way by doing these little weird things, basically, okay? It's really just a bunch of white liberal Karens, cat ladies, as J.D. Vance says, that don't have a man and probably have a dartboard in their house, with penises on it, and they're throwing darts at them because they hate men, okay, basically. So anyway, I'm going to read you just 12 of 24 in this article. This is what, quote, women do for what's known as microfeminism. Okay? Listen to this. Not moving out of the way on the sidewalk when a man is about to walk into me and clearly sees me, and he could move as well, especially if I'm on the right side of the sidewalk and he comes at me on the left side. He really should be the one who's moving over. Okay, let's stop there for 1 second. A lot of times when you're walking and someone's coming towards you, you automatically don't want to walk into them, so you move to the right or the left. And sometimes, unfortunately, they move in the same direction that you move. And then you do that little, I'm over here, you're over here. Okay, one of us has to stop and let you pass. So are you saying that when that happens, you just automatically walk into their way? For what reason? Why would you be rude like that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how that is a, quote, micro-feminist move, but whatever. Number 2, I always list my personal information as Miss on every form I fill out, even though I've been married for 41 years. I never use Mrs. If men don't need to disclose their marriage status, why do I? Wow, let's think about that. So you've been married for 41 years. I would assume you love your husband, and you have such little respect for your husband and the fact that he's a man that you won't even acknowledge the fact that you're his wife, and they somehow see that as being a feminist? No, that's being an asshole, okay? That's what it is, being a disrespectful idiot. That's what it is. And I'm assuming the majority of my audience would agree with me. Can't wait for the comments on this one. In the past couple of weeks, I've loudly threatened to take my shirt off in the presence of shirtless men. I may mention something about my period in front of them. I'll go to the beach and I'll talk about how luscious my leg hair is. I never shave anything. And simply, I wear the most aggressively feminist clothes I can find. Wow. Okay. Well, number 1, we don't want to hear about your periods. There's a reason that we take our shirt off, because we don't have a big pair of tits, number 1. And it's customary in society that women don't just walk around like that. So that's another thing. It's called self-respect, something liberal women don't have. And then luscious leg hair, sorry, you ain't getting laid anytime soon if you've got leg hair, armpit hair, and other types of hair, okay? So that is definitely not a feminine thing to be and do. And then you wear the most aggressively feminist clothes I can find? I don't even know what that is. What are you wearing? Like black, like combat boots and like weird mesh and like, or baggy clothes to not show your body? I don't get it. Women are supposed to be feminine. They're supposed to be beautiful, which they are. And men are supposed to dress appropriately, businesslike, whatever it may be. But to do something and go out of your way to be as hideous as ugly exterior as well as interior wise that you can be, I don't understand how that is somehow a positive thing for feminists. Doesn't make any sense to me. Not sure if this is a micro-feminist act or not, it says, but I teach my children that God has no gender. Having been raised in a very religious home, I do my best not to refer to God with he, him pronouns, but instead I'll use they, them pronouns or she, her. So in other words, God in your sick, twisted mind can be they, them, or she, her, but no. It can't be he, him. And they don't see that as sexist. They don't see that as just being blasphemous for all intents and purposes. It's really just sick. And to think that these women are so angry and bitter and vitriolic that they just sit at home and think this shit up all the time. It's just amazing. Number 5. Not helping to cook or clean at a family gathering. My male family members were never expected to, so after dinner, they would stay in their seats as the women would clean up around them. Huge double standard. I'm opting out. Okay, well, let's talk about this for a second. So, I'm under the impression that if the man cooks the meal, then the woman cleans up. If the woman cooks the meal, the man should clean up, okay? My wife cooks for me. I always offer to clean up, but she goes, I don't like the way you load the dishwasher. All right, fine. Then I won't do it. But I offer because I agree, just as Erica Kirk said on stage at the memorial, they're not supposed to be their servants and their slave. You're our partner. It's supposed to be an equal partnership. You know, relationships fail because of power struggles. When a woman loves a man more or a man loves a woman more in a relationship, sorry, not going to work. There cannot be a power struggle in a marriage or a relationship. Because if there is, then that means that one person is loving the other person more, which also means that they're being controlled. Now, why people put themselves in that position, I don't know. I don't have it in my marriage because there is no power struggle or power structure issue. So that's just free advice. Next. This one's a little weird. Whenever my daughter and I are playing with her dolls, I always make sure that all the domestic tasks go to the male dolls, not the female dolls. Basically, I like to keep Ken tied up in the dream house while Barbie goes out shopping and on adventures. I don't even understand it. I just don't get it. Look, men can help out. They can cook. They can clean. They can do things like that. But why do you have to single them out? Why do you have to teach your child to hate men? Why can't you just say, everybody helps out, everybody does different things? I don't get it. Where does this hatred for the opposite sex come from? Where is it derived from? Where is this anger taught? I don't understand it. I don't get it. All right. I translate sentences on Duolingo, whatever the hell that is, I don't even know what that is, into the feminist form when I'm practicing languages dealing with gender. So as an example, the judge is intelligent becomes the female judge becomes feminine intelligent. What? What are you talking about? Seriously, I don't understand this. Why would you do that? Are you trying to say that AI is against women or something? I just don't understand it. And why translate it into anything other than what it's supposed to be? The judge is intelligent. Why do you have to specify whether the judge is male or female? Why these hang-ups on sex? I don't get it. What's this one? Number 9. There's only 12. I don't shop for my in-laws at Christmas. That's my husband's job. Okay, that's fine, I guess. I don't typically do a lot of the shopping, so on this one, I don't really get it. But is it because you hate them? Is it because you hate your husband's family? Well, if you do, then that's the typical in-law situation that I guess everyone, unfortunately, kind of experiences. But why be angry about it? You know, why do that? What if your husband is busy at work and he goes, "Hey, my mother's birthday's tomorrow. Can you do me a quick favor and go grab her something and get a card and put our names on it? And I would do it for you, for your dad or your mom." I don't understand this hang up. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. Number 10, whenever I'm told that I look pretty or I have a nice smile, I always ask that person if they would say the same thing to a man. Well, no, not unless you're gay. Why would you? What would be the point of that? Why would you ask that question? Why can't you just take a fucking compliment? Oh, you look nice today. You have a beautiful smile. What is so harmful about that? Why do you have to say anything at all? Just say, "Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate that." And go about your fucking day, dumbass. I don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense. Then again, I grew up, in a different time. Number 11, I'm an insurance broker. I like to put the wife's name first on all documents just to send the men for a loop. This is what it says. It doesn't matter whose name is first in the application. So she's even admitting that it doesn't matter, right? It has no bearing on price, coverage, or anything like that. But I like watching their egos in full meltdown mode when this happens. It brings me great joy. Why does it bring you great joy? Perhaps, maybe, as an insurance broker, you ought to go see a psychiatrist because there's obviously something wrong upstairs if somehow you get off on this weird thing about putting the female name first. I don't know. I was born and raised in a time where it said Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Why does that matter? We're supposed to have a society is supposed to be a healthy society with distinct genders, okay? Not this mishmash of feminist bullshit and trans this and trans that and they, them, and this, that. It's all bullshit. Society is healthier when men and women have distinguished genders and go about their business as men and as women. That's why I showed you the video that Bernard gave me a couple of days ago of Mr. Rogers. What did it say? A girl grows up to be a lady. A boy grows up to be a man. Women can only, be women. Men can only be men. This is something he was singing and talking to 45 years ago. Now all of a sudden people are getting shot in the fucking neck for that? I don't get it. I don't understand where society's going. And then this is the last one, and this is the sickest one. I like to build other women up, spelled WOMXN. I like to build other women up around me every chance I can get. I also like to spell woman with an X because, quote, trans women are women. No, they're not, okay? They never are, they never will be. And that's the reality. Biological sex doesn't lie. We are men, we are women. There is nothing else, okay? There is two genders. Every now and then, it's so rare. Every now and then, Mother Nature, little hiccup, little mistake, someone's born intersex. Male, female, parts, whatever, hermaphrodite. What do? We try to help them. The parents do what they can. They have to make a decision. Perhaps maybe they involve the child. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But they make a decision. And they figure out, what are we going to do here? Is this going to be a boy? Is this going to be a girl? It is so rare that this ever happens. But it does. Very rarely. But you know what the left has done? they have taken an extremely rare birth defect and blown it up and bastardized it into this new sexual orientation. It is despicable, it is sinister, it is demonic, it is evil, it is deviant, and it needs to stop. We need to eradicate these sick bastards from our societies, and I have no problem, and you all know it, with anyone hearing that. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.